So describe the difference between the calculation of the population standard deviation and the sample standard deviation. This question could have just as easily said, describe the difference between the calculation of the population variance and the sample variance, because that's really what is the difference. Remember, population standard deviation is the square root of population variance, while sample standard deviation is the square root of the sample variance. So the place where it's going to really occur is right inside here, the variance. And you're going to compare the two. Differences between sample variance and population variance. And the difference is, just by the meaning of population, you've got the full size of all the material that you're testing or describing. So you use capital N, and it really is just an average. Think of these deviations as a bunch of numbers. Call them y. And don't even worry about the fact that they're squared. So it's like the sum of all those numbers divided by how many there are. Okay. So population variance is really to the point of the average of deviations, where sample has this n-1 down here. So the only thing different is you're replacing n with n-1. And the explanation for why you replace n-1 is a little lengthy for what we're saying right here. You also need to, after you do all this, that's the variance. Now you need to take the square root of both sides.
Well, 2 down said about, actually, next to talks about the square root.
Right here. When calculating the population standard deviation, the sum of the square deviations is divided by n, then the square root of the result is taken. Yeah. When calculating the sample standard deviation, you're using little n, n-1. So that's what it is. So focus on those things. Statistics use alphabet letters. Parameters use Greek letters. Or it uses capital letters. Or for statistics, they use things like p hat or x bar, things like that. All right, I don't know if that's even helping you, but if you have a basic understanding of that, then you'll understand a lot more. This one, the range of the data set, the smallest number is 24.
Right. Isn't it the range is the minimum, the maximum minus the minimum?
Yeah, and they want you to be able to figure it out from the graph. So there are 4 of these, but either way, that's the max. There are 2 of these, but either way, that's the max. So what's 34 minus 24? 10. Oh, sorry. I should hit similar exercise first. Same story, though.
That's one thing I get, the range.
The numbers of a regular season wins for 10 football teams in a given season is blah. Find all this stuff. Range. Okay, here's what I'd do for this. I'd open it either in a clipboard or in StatCrunch directly. If you open in StatCrunch, oh, maybe this video you will want to return to and watch. It's super tiny, but that's because I had shrunk my screen size down. So let me enlarge that if I can. Now I'm just wasting your time. Watch this. Okay, there. That's back to normal, so when I open this, it should be back to normal. And it's already filled in.
Right.
Oh, cool, they have a tutorial. Maybe you should check that out. Okay. But I'll tell you this one. You've already got the data in. There's statistic tools here. You want to do a summary of those basic statistics. From the column, yeah. So choose that column.
I think I just missed what you
Oh,
just did right before. See, I saw
stat,
stat,
summary,
summary,
from that
oh,
column,
columns. Okay.
as opposed to the other options. Then choose this. Now, by default, it already picks the 5-number summary, and looks like it might have some other things in that too, yeah. So it'll count how many there are. That'll turn out to be a 10. It'll figure out the median, it'll add them and divide, and the variance and all that stuff. I think that probably covers all and more of what they want, but if you needed even more, you could go through here and find out what they want. So the difference is if you want something on or off, just click it off or on. If you want several things, hold Control.
Okay.
So I'm talking about, let me see if I can show you while I do it. I'm going to hold Control and do mean, variance, standard deviation. See how I can choose several of them?
Right.
Median, range, min, max, so on, because I'm holding Control. I don't know what else they want, so I'll just go ahead and hit it, compute. And then it gives me all this junk. And let's see, they want the range. Okay, that's the max minus the min, which they already did here. 15 minus 2, it's already got down 13. Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I should have hit similar exercise before I got started.
Okay.
But you want to open it in StatCrunch, so you've already had that filled in for you. So I didn't choose anything different, I just took what they already had. All right, range, still 13, still 15 minus 2. Population mean, that's assuming you have all of them, so 8.4. The population mean would be the same thing as the sample mean. If this was our whole sample and we're considering our whole population. Population variance. 0.04, that's it. So
it was just 4. Yeah.
Now if that came out wrong, I am assuming that when they say variance, oh, they're doing a statistic. So the thing that happened here is they were using the calculation from right here. They're using n minus 1. Let me go back to the set, and I'm going to do options, edit, see if I can choose.
See, I would have never known that.
So let's try this unadjusted variance, 18.04. Yeah, that is a drawback to StatCrunch. It says variance, and you've got to well, not read between the lines, but you've got to remember you're dealing with statistics, right? So, which is from a sample.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it assumes that you're using that. Now, if you didn't want it to be adjusted for the sample, you've got to be telling it to use the unadjusted variance. So it says sample statistics still, but now we know it's actually going to be the population variance. I know, it seems like a mess, but the nice thing is if you did it in Excel, if you wanted to copy and paste those numbers right in here, then you're actually going to choose the population one if it has a P on it.
So this is regular old Excel?
Yeah, this is just Excel right here.
Well, you know how well I use Excel, so.
Well,
Did you not get my Friday humor?
Oh, I didn't see it yet. You may not know how to use Excel very well, but you can learn it pretty quickly when you go like this. You click this, copy to clipboard. Okay, it's on my clipboard. And now I paste it. Then I just hit equals. Remember before was the mean, that's the average. So that one we already have. And you're going to want to label these things. Population mean, then population variance. That calculation is STDEV. And you see how it says this one is off the entire population, where this one is off of the sample.
Oh,
If it's got a P versus an S.
oh, okay.
Choose the set. That is interesting. Oh, I chose standard deviation. Sorry. I'll just change the name. That's actually the standard deviation of the population. If we wanted the variance, we could have chosen var p. Or actually, rather than choosing var p and getting that 18 point whatever, how else could I get this number if someone had already told me, or like I did on accident, I had already calculated the standard deviation? How could I get that number?
That 18?
Yeah. What I'm addressing here is, do you understand the meaning that we actually just talked about of standard deviation and variance and how they relate to each other? Couldn't I just take this number right here and multiply it by itself? That would be the square of the standard deviation, which would give me that thing. Remember how we had talked about that?
Yeah.
So making that mistake of choosing the wrong function, because I wasn't thinking as I was talking, actually is a good way to reiterate. So this one would have been 4.24. So 4.2. And then that's all they wanted here. If you use StatCrunch, you can already have them all knocked out at once. StatCrunch is going to be way faster, but hides a little of the understanding. The Excel is going to be slower, but you can see everything that's going on.
But to me, the downfall, I understand that, but like taking my test, I'm not going to have access to StatCrunch.
Why not?
Oh, will I?
I do.
Oh, I didn't know.
All my students get access. Do you take it on the computer like this?
Yeah, I took mine on my tablet.
Right. So here's how you know if you have access in the middle of the test. If it has this little icon here, click on it and open it up. It should open right up.
I don't know if I feel comfortable enough with StatCrunch. I guess I could go home and play with it.
We'll do that tutorial.
Okay.
Although I just said I didn't need to see it, so I don't know if it's device specific. I don't know if it's student or device.
Oh.
Here, maybe you can click this and watch you.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a tutorial.
Yeah, getting started. Just go to the help. There was that tutorial, but I don't know if because I'm in your account and I had said close, that it's not going to invite you to watch it again later.
Oh,